Can we say that one land is physically more beautiful than another? I don't think so. It's one earth. Astounding beauty and great nature still exists in China. The wonderful children are our continuation, and universally farmers connect us all to our needed sustenance for life on earth. China has embraced capitalism so fully and is so tied now to our Western fabric that it's forcing us to look at and reevaluate ourselves. Indeed, like it or not, we are deeply part of each other now, and like it or not, for good or worse, as they us, America has been becoming more like China. Despite the United States still being a great human experiment, often severely challenged, with blemishes and imperfections, this journey helped not only distinguish between people and government policy, but help clarify what else is good and precious about the United States and our values, those that support a strong middle class, our basic human rights, freedom of speech and religion, our charity, our law that attempts to be equal to all. By strengthening these values with ourselves, we can also help by providing China example of what not to do, and living lessons while it rapidly grows and pays its own way with all-out capitalism. Society's governments can't just allow our power and prosperity to go to the few. That's the age-old problem for which China struggled to free itself from, the past of feudal lords and former oppressors. It's also what the United States freed itself from with the King of England. The struggle remains constant. And our concerns cannot be about which country is better or worse. It's about improving on both our countries. That can happen through this relationship. If we have to compete, let's compete for who cares for not only their own the most. There is plenty to get inspired by, and plenty of challenges besides how to kill or control one another. How can we save each other, trade with each other, cooperate with each other? How about our militaries actually joining together as a team, not for war games against each other, but to prevent the genocides and to lessen the international strife of civil wars and inhumanity? By joining with other regional forces, other militaries, we could lead this world towards spending infinitely less on our militaries, lessening that fear and destructive competition, promoting international security, and again, international cooperation, humanity. Something about relationships. Trust is core. Trust is the foundation of genuine relationship. Without it, there isn't one. Certainly not a healthy one. Trust not only takes time, but action after action. It's a turning point when two feel they are ready and open to hear the other's concern and perhaps constructive criticism of themselves. That's security. Denial of this is our insecurity. What does China seem to be asking us and their citizens? Imagine a relationship you're in where your partner insists that you only say nice things to them, and you only say nice things about them. I would love it if my relations thought only that of me, but it's not nature. It's not real with our different perceptions. That attitude doesn't allow for growth or for learning. It's not honest. So what kind of relationship gives all the control and power to one partner? It's called domination, not relation. What happens there is the lesser partner, if you can even say the word partner, has to either submit to this form of spousal abuse, which it is ultimately. It's controlling by yes, terra, on a personal or national level. Everything goes well if you stay in line. Their perception of the line. What kind of relationship is that? To survive with such domination, the partner becomes increasingly very cunning, secretive, tricky, passive-aggressive, dishonest, covert, exactly the qualities we don't wish to cultivate. This keeps the cycle of horror rolling. It's especially acute when the domineering partner reserves the right to freely criticize the other. It's very easy to hear the criticisms of the United States these days. In a way, this is what we're being asked to put up with China. It's unnecessary and can be eased as trust grows by each genuine exchange. Admittedly, this is for those that find value in creative problem-solving, true education, in the unfoldment of the best of human capabilities, and bringing empowerment and worth to their fellow humans. To those who believe in the beloved community, for those that work towards higher ideals of relationships. It is the world millions have struggled and died for, even most of those who followed Mao. May we continue to strive for respectful human ideals. With inspired leadership, there's nothing we can't transform. Let's try. Here are a few of the most difficult things. Most all in China say the past is the past, let's move on. But government policy is not moving on. The present building of the world's largest military isn't moving on. Still hiding Tiananmen Square's truth that when people get out of hand and challenge the state, you will kill them. That instead of serious dialogue with Tibet when you felt the CIA was infiltrating the area during the Cold War, continuing this policy of reinventing the history of Tibet's rape, slaughter as liberation, and like a child continually claiming Taiwan is yours and wanting the world to leave the subject alone. These are signs that the past is not the past for you, China. In these areas, you intend to stay to the past. I'd be very happy to drop these things if China would. Maintaining lies takes much energy. We know because we have lies here as well. A century and less ago, you could often read Westerners thinking the Chinese mind was somehow wired differently than ours, and that in the end we'll never truly understand them, nor them us. And I was told by a number of fellow Asian diplomats, Anthony, never trust the Chinese. They'll always fool you. Whatever validity about brain wiring and differences and trusting, what those of the past could not have premonitioned about today, and what I witness about the Chinese mindset and our mindset, is that it is ever increasingly coming closer and closer by the day, as we share images, sounds, food, products, cars, airplanes, modern architecture of new structures, information and misinformation on the internet, the same energy and resources. Importantly, the youth's music is becoming identical, and yes, we share the complications of capitalism. We all wear the same clothes, talking on the same cell phones. Heck, everything is made in China. All people outside the military don't want to believe in war answering anything. War truly is obsolete and a failure of leadership. People also don't wish a slow economic and trade war. We all want the same things. How about this thing called cooperation? Where is the leadership that can get us on and keep us on this high road, the magnificent road of cooperation? It's not a new concept, and it's not an American concept. Cooperative human behavior is written all about in the Chinese ancient texts. Cooperation is exciting. Leadership needs to protect us from and inspire us away from what's often been called humanity's greatest sin, that of indifference. I left China feeling the common people of both our countries know more what it takes than many of our leaders who are bound by the old rhetoric. Let's not repeat the Olympics of 1936, where we proudly praised our coming together for games, immediately after began tearing each other asunder. It's completely preventable horror if we teach and learn the lessons.